insane inside. Got secrets I can't tell. I've always liked to play with fire. Play with fire.
Once again, I'm Jack Taylor.
And I'm Matt Pumbaka.
And this is Spurs Up, and we're alongside with our very special guest, Justin King, for another interview segment. And starting off right off the bat, we're going to ask you, you had said that the Alabama job, the AL.com, was the only reason you would ever leave that job was because you were going to come to South Carolina. So how much did that job at AL mean to you?
Oh, it was. I mean, I have nothing but positive things to say about that experience. It was just a wonderful opportunity. I covered Alabama and Auburn for AL.com, Alabama Media Group,
great.
which was a conglomerate of Birmingham News, Huntsville Times, Mobile, Press Register. Those are the newspapers there. And they joined together, and then they said, okay, we're going to go digital. And so they were all digital focused on their website. They're really one of the pioneers. You could trace the company back up to Newhouse Publishing. So I mean, it's under a large umbrella group.
It's a genius idea.
It was a brilliant idea, and it's worked very well for them. And they decided, okay, we're going to start, a video element to this. And so that's when they brought me on. They just reached out to me, and at first I was like, Birmingham. I've never been to Birmingham. I was like, I don't know. I haven't heard the best things about Birmingham. And then I went for an interview and really liked Birmingham. Really great place to live. Really enjoyed it. It's the same as any other city, I've some fans who've been to the Birmingham Bowl will probably be like, yeah, that's not the best part of the Birmingham. But there's other parts that are really great, and I really did love the job and the opportunity to cover Alabama and Auburn. Got to go to 2 national championship games in a row and be on the sideline for that. Not many people can say that, and that was really cool. And yeah, it was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience. And then I got the call from South Carolina. And I'll be honest, it wasn't that easy for South Carolina to pull me away from AL.com. I mean, my wife and I had a kid about 15 months ago now. And at the time when I came here, it was only 2 or 3 months old. And so it wasn't necessarily, I was unsure if that was a move I wanted to make. When you have something that you know is good and that you enjoy doing, you don't necessarily, there's another opportunity and jump at that. And so it took me a little bit of time. But then at the end of the day, to borrow a saying from Bear Bryant, when they asked him, he said, why did you leave, I think it was Texas A&M to go to Alabama? A reporter asked him, and he said, well, Mama called. Mama called.
So that was the main aspect that drove you to come back to South Carolina?
It was a good opportunity. We had a lot. It led to me not being necessarily that eager. That's not necessarily the right word, but you know what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
It was something where I was unsure. I said, okay, is this a change I want to make for? It's not just me. I'm not just thinking about myself anymore. I'm also thinking about my family. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it led to a lot of discussions about, okay, here's how things could work, here's what they would look like, and knowing that that's how they would work and that that's what they would look like, that led me to say, okay, yeah, then that's where I want to be. It's time to go back home.
That's awesome. When you were in Birmingham, did you go to the Birmingham Bowl?
No, I never did. I was in Atlanta. South Carolina played in Birmingham,
Exactly.
and I did not go because I was in Atlanta covering Alabama in the first round of the playoff against Washington that year, which was the Chick-fil-A Bowl.
Yes.
And I was in, and it's not just a one-day thing. It's a 4 or 5 day. They have all the events and stuff, and it drove me nuts that I could not be. I was sitting in Atlanta watching South Carolina play in Birmingham, and I was not there.
It was a good game, not the best ending, but we were able to get retribution in this bowl game. And how cool of an experience was that, getting to cover South Carolina in that bowl game for the Outback Bowl?
This was actually the first year where I was at every single football game a team played. Because like I said, I covered Alabama and Auburn, and so whoever had the bigger game that week is where I was. And so I'm being perfectly honest, it was mostly Alabama, but Auburn would sometimes kind of be that too. And so I would go to, okay, I'm going to not go to the Alabama versus Chattanooga game, I'm going to go to the Auburn versus LSU game, things like that. So this is the first year where I've been to every single game that a team has played, including obviously I didn't travel all the away games when I was here at South Carolina either. It was pretty incredible, but it was incredible for different reasons. That first game, that NC State game, I was so nervous for the team. Because it's one thing, being a fan, I'm sure everyone is nervous too. It changed things. I didn't expect it to change things. Covering with the media, with Alabama, and Auburn, being in the media, there's like 15-minute open windows of practice here and there. It varies from school to school. So you can see, like, you'd go in and the quarterbacks would literally just be warming up, and that's the most you'd see. Now, being at every practice and seeing, and at these early morning workouts that start at 6 a.m. where they're just dripping sweat and giving everything they got every day, all summer long, you realize like how much more you want it for them because of how hard that they have worked.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff Dillman, his program that Coach Muschamp has brought him in to put together is just unbelievable. It's an unbelievable strength program. It's an unbelievable conditioning program, physically and mentally. Every single thing is thought of with this. And when you see the players who are, the kids, the people go through that, you want them to have that victory. If NC State obviously probably worked hard too, but we know when you're, and so everything meant a little bit more.
Yeah.
Debo's one-handed catch in the end zone meant a little bit more than it did to me previously, and then it did to me at Alabama and Auburn. And so that was probably my biggest takeaway overall, was just how you share in their emotions. The losses really hurt. It really, really hurt. Some more than others, depending on how the game went. But to be a part of that is just an unbelievable experience and moment. And it wasn't even just with football too. When I first came on, the first thing I did was go travel with the men's and women's basketball teams to the Final Four, and I hit the ground running, to say the least. It was a very, and now I had not been with them all season, but it was still just a pretty tremendous moment to just see and to get a kind of an inside look on when you achieve success and you know that you've worked for it. What does it mean?
Mm-hmm. Now, you are at practice every single day throughout the summer. It doesn't matter when you're there. And so what makes Coach Muschamp special from, I guess, a guy that's from behind the camera?
What doesn't make him special is a better question. He gets it, right?
Yeah.
He gets it. The first thing Coach Muschamp, literally the first thing he ever said to me other than hi, hello, is you have access to anything, anytime, anywhere. Before he actually met me, he told me that.
That's great.
And he put that trust in me. Now, of course, my first reaction to that is, I will not mess this up. You know what I mean? I stood up at attention and I said, we got this. He gets it. He understands why we do what we do. He trusts us with what we're doing and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, he's so approachable and so personable that when I have a question about a video, I'm not ooh, does he show something, whatever the question is, I can literally just text him the video and he'll tell me, I know how much he likes it by how many exclamation marks. If I get, good with 2, then it's good. Good with, so one time I got good with 4 exclamation marks, and I knew this was a good thing that he enjoyed. But he is an incredible boss, the kind of boss that you would run through a wall for because you know that he would do the same for you.
Mm. So then, talking about the videos that you started and the amount of access that you have, when you came up with the idea for the battle armor videos, and you had that, talk about how that kind of went through. Because I remember it was against Arkansas, I believe you said earlier, and you had the one where it started out, drawn and animated, and they crumple up the paper, and the transition was insane. Tell me a little bit about how you come up with those ideas week by week.
So this is the great thing. This is the great thing about having a team around you, is that I did not come up with the battle armor video ideas. One of my producers, who I hired from Oregon, makes a whole lot of sense then, said, hey, let's make a uniform video. And I said, okay, yeah, first game of the season, I think, yeah, what fans always wonder what the team is going to wear. Let's make a video. But I did not think that we would continue it like that throughout the season. I thought we would switch it up because I thought it would get a little bit old. Now, I was coming from a time when under the last coaching staff, the uniforms didn't quite change as often with different combinations. But I said, hey, okay, okay, Andrew is his name. I said, okay, Andrew, own it. It's yours. And he did. And the first one was popular. And then we started to come up with creative ideas around it. Okay, how can we do things differently this time? The drawing aspect of it, that was somebody who we hired on. His name is Zach, extraordinarily talented. He's a graphic designer by trade. And he can do those doodle things. And so it's like, okay, we called them doodles. And we said, okay, hey, let's try and start this. The only thing I had to do with that one with the hand was finessing it a little bit here and there. Everything else was handled from start to finish by the incredible team I have around me. They showed it to me, and I was floored, and I was really happy. So that's not a testament to me by any shape or form. That is a testament to hiring good people who you can trust, and then making and creating an environment where they are free to create and try things that are a little bit different.
Now, did Zach do the doodles for the upcoming recruiting class of all those guys?
Yes, so the caricatures?
Yes.
That was actually another individual who did those. We brought him in. He's a student. His name is also Zach, so that gets a little complicated. But yeah, he did that. That was an idea, hey, let's try and do, that was actually Zach, the Doodle Zach's ideas, to do something a little bit differently, because nobody else is doing caricatures of their recruits. And then from there, we took that, and then I had also Andrew again animate them and turn them into a video, so it's multiple things with that. And that's how that kind of came to be, by trying to reach out and saying, okay, what can we do that's a little bit different, and how can we take things to another level in an entertaining and fun way?
Can you speak to the recruiting side of your job real quick? Like, and what's the most fun part about it?
We get to be creative. What's something creative we can do within the rules to kind of recruit?
Yeah.
You know, everybody abides by the same rules. The rules are very clear. They make a lot of sense. You know, and the rule and things are always still changing with it. But it within these parameters, okay, how do we do that? How do we create and create things within the parameters? So it's always about the most fun things that we can do that are actually effective with kids.
Awesome. Well, again, we are running out of time. And again, thank you so much, Justin, for coming on. It's been absolutely fantastic to talk to you and learn about your story and about what you've gone through in your career.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Justin King, the king of hype videos.
And until next time, Spurs up.
First down, South Carolina. Left side, Jeffries got space and a touchdown. He's hit. That's a fumble. He's going to take it all the way to the house. Going to put it on Myers' middle.